who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 47, noes 21. Measure passes. File items 110 and 111 pass and retain. File item 112, AB 1420. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1420 by the Assembly Committee on Governmental Organization, Act relating to Emergency Management Assistance Compact.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. AB 1420 removes the March 1st, 2012 sunset date for the operation of Emergency Management Assistance Compact. The purpose of EMAC is to provide mutual aid among the states in meeting an emergency or disaster. There is no opposition to this bill. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 70, no 0. Measure passes. File item 113, AB 1020. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1020 by Assemblymember Chesbro and others, an act relating to tribal gaming and declaring an urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. Chesbro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, in 2009, a compact was reached between the Habamatol Pomo of Upper Lake Tribe and Governor Schwarzenegger. SB 89, which ratified that compact, was passed that December. Unfortunately, after many months of negotiation with the tribe, the U.S. Department of Interior disapproved the compact. On March 17, 2011, Governor Brown executed a new compact with the tribe, which allows 750 gaming devices. I am proudly authoring AB 1020, which will ratify this compact because the Upper Lake Tribe, in particular their chair, Sherry Trepa, have done an outstanding job of working with the community and building broad-based community support that's resulted in the unanimous endorsement by the Lake County Board of Supervisors and many other community organizations. There is an existing MOU between the county and the tribe that ensures that the county's interests are taken into consideration throughout the tribe's project. The Lake County Board of Supervisors has been actively engaged. Additionally, the tribe has signed a collective bargaining agreement with Unite Here. Lake County is currently experiencing a 20% unemployment rate, one of the highest in the state. The compact is extremely important to the local economy since it will create more than 145 badly new construction jobs, and upon completion of the casino, the tribe will provide between 200 and 300 more much-needed full-time jobs with benefits. The Habamatol Pomo of Upper Lake Tribe has done everything right. I am pleased to author AB 1020. There is no opposition. I urge your aye vote.
Ms. Olson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of AB 1020. This compact has agreement with all local governments in the area and will create 500 jobs in an area that suffers from 19% unemployment. I urge your aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the vote. Close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 69 on the urgency. No 0. Ayes 69, no 0. On the measure, measure passes. File item 114, AB 276. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 276 by Assemblymember Alejo, an act relating to local government.
Mr. Alejo. Okay, Mr. Alejo, pass and retain. File item 115, AB 1400. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1400 by the Assembly Committee on Human Services, an act relating to public social services.
Mr. Bell.
Madam Speaker and members, AB 1400 is a committee cleanup bill that came out of the Human Services Committee with unanimous vote. This bill is necessary to formally change the food stamp program name after the federal government renamed it the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The federal government also gives states the option to rename it on a statewide level, and California has chosen the name CalFresh. To reflect these changes, this bill also replaces all the old names in the code with the new ones. I would ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 61, no 7. Measure passes. File item 117, HR 13. Clerk will read.
House Resolution 13 by Assemblymember Yamada relative to Elder and Vulnerable Adult Abuse Awareness Month.
Ms. Yamada.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I presented AB 40 earlier that spoke to strengthening our protections for some of California's most vulnerable residents. HR 13 seeks to establish May now in 2011 and henceforth as Elder Abuse and Dependent Adult Abuse Awareness Month. Last month in April, I know that my colleague Dr. Pan spoke very well about the need to enhance awareness about child abuse. This is a companion measure on the other end of the age spectrum. We are about 30 years behind in California in terms of how we address and collect data on elder and dependent adult abuse. We need to catch up because we don't have 30 years to wait. There are many alarming statistics I think we all see in the newspapers every day. As I referenced earlier, 10,000 a day are turning 65 in our country, and with the diagnosis of autism, 1 out of every 110 children born today will be diagnosed on the autism spectrum. So members, whether this affects you now or it may affect you in the future, I respectfully urge your aye vote and ask for the first roll to be open for co-authors and to really take this measure to heart. We do a lot of resolutions on this floor, but this one, I believe, is going to affect every single one of us, if it hasn't already, will very soon. Thank you, members.
Mr. Norby.
On the issue of Elder and Vulnerable Adult Abuse Awareness Month, I'm not sure if I'm elder or vulnerable, but aside from the wording, I would urge members, if they want to proclaim months and weeks and days, that they do it prospectively rather than retroactively. There are only 7 days left in May of 2011 for us to promote this awareness, and I think it speaks to the effectiveness or the non-effectiveness of these resolutions when they're adopted after the fact.
Seeing no further questions or debate, Ms. Yamada, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. Norby, if I may respond and ask Mr. Norby a question. Mr. Norby, have you achieved the age of 60?
I have. I wouldn't call it an achievement, it may be an endurance or default. 90 might be an achievement. I don't know about 60.
I was going to say around here, you know, every year is a dog year, so maybe we end up aging 7 years. Well, according to federal law, you, like me, have achieved the status of a senior.
All right, I consider
country.
California law to take precedence over federal law.
And as far as meeting the deadline, I think every day should be elder and a dependent adult.
Well, let's declare the whole year then.
Well, I'm with you.
This isn't enough.
I don't think we're allowed to take amendments at this time.
Thank you, members.
Thank you very much. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Ms. Yamada asked for the first roll to be open for co-authors. First roll to be open for co-authors. All members vote. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. For the record, there are 64 co-authors. We can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The measure is adopted. Okay, we have one bill on call. We're going to take up the 2 Senate readings, and if any member has any Assembly third reading bills you'd like to take up today, please come up here and give me the number, and we will take it up after the Senate third reading. File item 118, SB 191. Clerk will read.
A Senate Bill 191 by the Senate Committee on Governmental Finance and Act to validate Organization Boundaries Act proceedings and bonds of public bodies and provide limitations in time in which actions may be commenced and declared an urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. Smythe.
Any questions? Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, this is the first of the 3 annual validating acts that protect the integrity of the state and local bonds and boundary changes. We've passed similar validating acts for the past 70 years, which simply cure minor errors in bond issues and annexations. However, while these acts cannot forgive fraud or corruption, they do allow bond counsels to issue legal opinions attesting that California's bonds are free from inadvertent errors. Obviously, the better the ratings for California bonds, the better it is for the state. Ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 71, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 72, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 72, no 0 on the measure. Measure passes. File item 119, SCR 42. Clerk will read.
Senate concurrent resolution 42 by Senator Huff relative to the 50th anniversary of the California Prayer Breakfast.
Ms. Grove.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and colleagues. SCR 42 commemorates and celebrates the 50th anniversary of the California State Prayer Breakfast. It's modeled after the National Prayer Breakfast, and it's sponsored by a group of bipartisan legislators that meet Wednesday mornings for a Bible study. If you didn't go to last week's prayer breakfast on Thursday, then you missed Assemblymember Hall singing a cappella a song that says "We Won't Complain," and it was amazing. And then Assemblymember Halderman read Hebrew scriptures, and her mastery of the Hebrew language just rolled off her tongue like poetry. So it was an amazing event. We also had our speaker, Phil Hodges, who wrote the book Lead Like Jesus with Ken Blanchard and the 1 Minute Manager fame. So this commemorative 50th State Prayer Breakfast was an amazing event, and it's carried on from history. I ask that if you guys didn't attend this last week, that if you please attend next year or join us for our Bible study. And I would ask that you guys support this resolution, this SCR 42, and that the first roll be open for co-authors. Thank you.
Mr. Williams.
I just rise in support of this resolution. These Wednesday mornings are, and in particular last Thursday morning, are a great opportunity for bipartisan cooperation and prayer. And we all, of course, invite all legislators to our Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And regardless of your creed, in fact, one of our previous members that attended often was Ira Ruskin. Creed is not a barrier to attending our 8 a.m. Group in the Rules Committee room.
Seeing no further questions or debate, Ms. Grove asked for the first roll to be open for co-authors. First roll to be open for co-authors. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. There's 63 co-authors. We can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The measure is adopted. Okay, we're going to go back to file item 104, AB 1087. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1087 by Assemblymember Brownlee, an act relating to local government.
Ms. Brownlee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. AB 1087 is a bill to ensure that both cities and counties have complete and transparent information when deciding what public safety services are in the best interest of the community. For a city who intends to terminate their public safety contract with a county, it would authorize the county to ask the city to provide fiscal data and an analysis of its ability and its capacity to provide its own public safety services to residents. Of course, the final decision would always rest with the city who is obviously in the best position to make this final decision. This bill will allow both city and county public safety agencies to operate successfully, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote on a good governance bill.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 43, noes 28. Measure passes. Okay, we're going to go back to file item 68, AB 1111. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1111 by Assemblymember Fletcher and others, an act relating to debt collection.
Mr. Fletcher.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I'm proud to join author AB 1111 with Assemblymember Holly Mitchell. Homeless youth are some of the most vulnerable members of our community. With nowhere to go, they're often ticketed for offenses such as loitering, truancy, and curfew. Because they're homeless, they don't have an ability to pay for these offenses. Courts institute wage garnishments, and then in the event these youth actually get a job, their first paycheck is garnished, their employers are notified of the problems right out of the gate. This problem became evident to me as a very real problem in hearing it firsthand when we were doing surveys of the homeless in San Diego, where the word on the street was, don't get a job, a real job, because as soon as you do, your wages will be garnished and you'll potentially lose your job. That's why we're here today as the author of AB 1111. It provides that wage garnishment for certain homeless-related citations be temporarily delayed until the youth aren't actually homeless. AB 1111 still allows for the citations to be levied. It allows for additional penalties to accrue. The person in question can still risk jail time for their citation. It just gives them a window of time until they're not homeless or they turn 25 years old. Garnishing their wages damages their credit history. It erects barriers to financial stability, and it stops them from doing what we want them to do, which is get their life back on track. Justice is blind, not dumb. It is dumb to tell homeless people that we don't want them to get jobs and move forward. This bill has received all support along the way, and I would request your aye vote.
Seeing no further questions or debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 69, no 0. Measure passes. We're ready to lift the call on file item 69, AB 1307. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 48, noes 24. Measure passes. We are at the second day consent calendar. Does any member wish to remove an item from the second day consent calendar? Seeing and hearing none, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1082 by Assemblymember Gatto, an act relating to powers of attorney.
Clerk will open the roll on the consent calendar. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 77, no 0. The consent calendar is adopted. This concludes the business on the daily file. There are no announcements or adjourn in memories. The schedule is as follows. Tuesday, May 24th, floor session upon call of the Speaker and check-in session. Wednesday, May 25th, floor session upon call of the Speaker and check-in session. Thursday, May 26th, floor session upon call of the Speaker. Friday, May 27th, floor session from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Monday, May 30th, is a holiday for Memorial Day. All other items will be passed and retained. All motions shall be continued. Mr. Calderon.
Yes, Madam Speaker and members, I want to announce that the subcommittee number 1 on Health and Human Services will be meeting in 4202 after session and for every day this week in 30 minutes.
Okay. Subcommittee 1 will be meeting in room 4202 in 30 minutes. Okay, I'm ready to entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Calderon moves and Ms. Conway seconds that this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, May 24th, upon call of the Speaker. Quorum call is lifted.
Buchanan, AB 243, aye to no vote.